What's good, people? What's good? Episode of the Pinch Talk podcast. Baseball is going. Finally, we got some games going. There's actually games going on right now. Pats Indians are playing. I'm one of your I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Mario. Um, yeah, I mentioned Pat. He's here with me as always. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. It's good to have baseball back. And Bradley Zimmer just got called out, but I'm just really happy to have baseball. I honestly didn't think we were going to get here, considering the pandemic and also the talks about how they're going to do the season with the salaries and everything.
Yeah,
there's still some things not to like, but honestly, it's just really good to have baseball back right now.
We've seen, of course, some players missing games. Juan Soto missed the opening day. The Braves actually they had to call on their two catchers from like AAA and shit because both of them went out. So
Marlins got a few COVID cases.
Yeah, and y'all hearing him right now. We got a guest in this podcast episode for the episode 12. His name is Mark, and I'm gonna let y'all, I'm gonna let him introduce himself to y'all. Kind of, tell the folks, what your team is. How about your how your baseball fandom came about, and that whole shit. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Good to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. As Mario said, my name is Mark. Big Cardinals fan. I'm actually not from Missouri though. I'm living in Yankee territory, right outside New York. In New Jersey, so you can imagine that's a little fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up playing baseball all my life, so I developed a love for the game, playing it more so before watching it. So watching just became, easy and natural for me. My family tried to get me to be a Yankee fan, but that wasn't really flying with me. So Pujols coming out, he was a young stud. Had some other nice players in the Cardinals, so it was about probably a bit before 2004 when they had that terrible World Series with the Red Sox that I became a fan, and I've been sticking with them ever since, pretty much.
That's fucking cool. And really, I mean, first of all, I'm gonna say that it's a great organization to be a fan of because they're super competent. See, this is actually this is actually some fucked up shit because both of y'all teams are actually competent organizations. My team sucks. The Cardinals, yeah, fuck off with the jokes. The Cardinals are one of only 3 teams right now. People like every team has played at least 2 games. The Dodgers and the Giants have actually played 3, but the Cardinals are one of only 3 teams that are undefeated right now, and I think that kind of says a whole lot about how random baseball can be, and playoffs are just going to be crazy, really. But we'll get into that when we get into it. Has anything surprised you up to this point, Pat, from what you've seen in the regular season? Like any performances, any standout, like any team that's looking bad so far?
Honestly, not yet. It's just so small. But one thing I've noticed is the fact that the new way they're using, the new technology they're using to track Statcast, it's been kind of inaccurate or kind of funny because apparently they really didn't have that much time to calibrate it, and they switched from TrackMan, which uses like military spec radar systems to track everything, to a camera system. It only uses like 12. They use like 12 cameras across the field to visually track everything, and the under 21 mile per hour Giancarlo Stanton homer was kind of iffy to me, but if anybody's gonna hit a 121 mile per hour home run, it's gonna be Giancarlo Stanton. So I'll take it. If it was like D Gordon that hit a 121 mile per hour homer, I would Taylor. Or Michael Taylor or something like that. Actually, Michael Taylor's has some power actually.
Michael Taylor hit a bomb once at Coors Field.
Yeah, he can hit. But I mean, at least it's Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, I'll take it. But in terms of actual play itself, you can see how sloppy everybody. Well, not sloppy, but everybody isn't really at their A game. Especially the pitchers, you can tell they're especially on their breaking pitches, they're yanking them. Their sliders are backing up on them. They're off speed and stuff like that. And the defense this year is going to be kind of atrocious too, I think, for all teams.
whole bunch of Miguel Andújars out there at the moment.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I gotta ask you though, because I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the Cardinals, mainly because they're like the Spurs. How have you seen them so far? Because I saw old man Wainwright was pretty solid.
Yeah.
How have you seen him so far?
Wayne was still chugging along. Early on, a little bit, it was looking like some of his curveballs he was leaving up a little bit, wasn't hitting his spots. I'm not sure if he wasn't, staying on top of it or whatever it might be. But I mean, when you're as experienced as he is, he's just gonna find ways to adapt. It looks like pretty much so. He got it under control eventually. Offense has surprised me a little bit so far. I mean, granted, it's the Pirates we're hitting against, but even like the outfielders, which is definitely our weakest spot, they're showing some life early on. So I'm happy for now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it keeps going once we get some tougher competition.
Me and Pat, we talked a lot about the Cardinals actually in the preview, and when we talked about season predictions and all that, and we both we kind of agreed that the pitching staff was fine. But we were both very worried about the lineup, because we thought it's Goldie and Tommy Edman and Colin Wong, and then who else? Like Matt Carpenter. He better return from the dead, because
he's been looking real shaky lately. But out of people within the organization are pretty high on him bouncing back. So I mean, for now, I'll take their word for it. Hopefully, we get Paul DeYoung going too.
One more thing about the Cardinals. I actually picked Dylan Carlson for my Rookie of the Year in the National League. Do you think you'll see him soon, or do you think they're going to play with the service time and not really deploy him all that much?
That's kind of what it's looking like from what I see. If they do bring him up, they'll have to wait the 6 or 7 days or whatever it is to get that extra year of service time. I think you kind of got to play to see how the outfielders are hitting. I mean, if someone's slumping, knowing if someone's not performing, then I'd love to see him jump in there. Because I mean, his bat's looking pretty great. Spring training was tearing it up.
Yeah, and for a team like the Cardinals, team that's going to be somewhere around 500, maybe a little bit above it, you got to take every single win, every single extra contribution you can take. You take it, because it might be the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when we get into the new postseason format. So, Pat, now on to you. Now, the Indians, they won opening day. On opening day. Then they lost in what they called a bullshit way in day 2, and we saw the extra innings. Beginning with the runner on second base rule come into effect. How pissed were you, and how do you feel really about what you're seeing so far?
I'm pissed, but I wouldn't say I'm pissed. I'm just kind of regular pissed. If that makes sense. First game, the Indians, they won. Shane Bieber was dominant, like 14 Ks in 6 innings, and then the bullpen was pretty good. Second game, they had a lot of opportunities to runners on base, especially at the top of the lineup to score, and they didn't really capitalize on it. Frankie has really struggled the first few games of the season. His swing looks really long. He's whiffing at pitches. He's given he's been the most pitchers counts, I think, in almost every at bat he's had. Honestly, Jose's looked great. I'm not really worried about Jose. He's looked sharp since game 1. He's looked like himself. You can tell what the players on your team just by how good their at bats are, whether they're looking good, how many pitches they're seeing. Cesar Hernandez was a really good pickup. He's gotten on base I think twice, almost through the first 2 games so far. And honestly, I think if he gets on base twice a game, then we're gonna win. No, on to the extra inning shit. James Karinchak looked great. He threw 28 pitches total, and 21 of them were strikes. His fastball was amazing. They couldn't touch it. And his curveball, he was just dropping in there, and they couldn't do anything with it. Now, when you have a guy like Karinchak who goes out in the ninth inning and goes 1, 2, 3 on like 10 pitches, and then in the 10th inning you have a runner on second base and he gets bunted over, and then they get a sacrifice fly, and that's just I don't fuck with that, because in my opinion, I know we talked about this before, Mario. If we're gonna do a runner if we're gonna do a run in extra innings, it should be after like the 12th inning or the 13th inning or something.
Yeah.
Not right as extra inning start. And honestly, the runners should start on first base, not second base. Because
putting him on
it's just too easy. It's just way too easy.
It's a bit overkill.
Bunt the guy over and that's it. And I know Nate Yost is somewhere smiling when he saw that small ball bullshit last night.
I saw a lot of love for that bunt. More than they should have got.
No, there's no it's fucking 2020. There's no reason for anybody to be bunting.
Unless you're Jeff Mathis.
And the worst part, even worse, was they got 2 runners on base in the bottom of the 10th, and Jose and Frankie got struck out by Greg Holland. Greg Holland's corpse.
What is this? Is this 2017, bro?
No, it is not 2017. It's 2020. Greg Holland is garbage now. Like, honestly, my logic is, if we have Jose and Frankie up to bat with 2 guys on base and they both strike out, then we shouldn't have won the game anyways.
Yeah, that's pretty sound. For me, I mean, when I think of the Rockies, there's like a vein that's starting to pop out in my neck right now. That first game was absolutely brutal. I don't know if any of y'all paid attention to it. We got shut out on 3 hits. I will say this: that new Rangers ballpark, that plays like peak Petco Park. Like I saw like Story and Arenado, they both destroyed baseballs slightly to left center, like 405 feet, and both of them died at the warning track. Like, it was like the ball was just not carrying at all, and it just plays huge. Like, I don't know.
Did they have the roof closed or was it open?
It was closed. It was closed and with air conditioning, but it just plays huge. Like, the amount of and it happened in game 2 as well. Like, the amount of like barreled up baseballs that kept dying at the warning track was incredible.
Except for Joey Gallo.
Yeah. I mean Joey Gallo destroys the ball, and it's more for anywhere from like left center to right center. Like, once you start getting into down the lines, it is a pretty big ballpark. It's more manageable. But I will say this: a theme in both games, both Germán Marquez and John Gray, they were both very dominant until they got somewhere around 70 pitches, and then they started losing their command. They started walking guys. They started missing over the plate, and in back-to-back games, Bud Black left them in for 1 batter too long, and it cost us. Game 1, there's really not a whole lot to say. Despite except for the fact that we made Lance Lynn somehow throw 110 pitches in 6 innings. Which is not something that I'm used to, because typically, like, in case both of y'all didn't know, when the Rockies get shut out on the road, it's typically one of those, the opponents, their starter goes 8 innings and throws 91 pitches. Like, it's one of those deals. Like, it's just awful. Like, this team has some of the worst play discipline. It's had some of the worst play discipline in the major leagues. So for me to see them, working the count and drawing a whole lot of walks, even if they struck out a lot, I like the approach, and it carried on to game 2. We scored 3 runs, which is amazing. John Gray was great. The bullpen was great. Wade Davis gave me 3 heart attacks. And I want to say something, because both of y'all have been following baseball for longer than I have. Daniel Bard. How cool was that, Mark?
Yeah, huge comeback story. Gotta love that.
Like, to come back from the yips after 7 years, and he's throwing 99.
Yeah,
straight gas.
The yips will end careers.
Yeah, he was nice, and the fact that he got the win too was just great. It was good to see.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, and he came into the fire too, because he came in a. I'm pretty sure it was like he came in with the go ahead run on base, and it was like, dude, like that's a lot of faith to put in a guy who hasn't pitched in the majors in 7 years, but he got it done. So I was super happy for him. So we're kind of seeing, that's the Rockies report done. By the way, I'm not gonna bitch about my team anymore. Well, I am gonna say one more thing. Bud Black willingly put Drew Butera, Chris Owings, and Matt Kemp in 2020 on the same lineup. Willingly, he wasn't held at gunpoint and forced to do it. I hate this team. So moving on, I kind of mentioned it before, and basically every team has played 2 games. The vast majority of them are tied 1-1 in the series. This kind of plays into something that we've been talking about, the fact that because baseball is so random and the great teams lose to bad teams all the time, the new postseason format, this is going to be something special in the first round with those best of 3 series. I gotta ask, first of all, to you, Pat, how do you feel like knowing that your team is going in and it's going to be a 3-game series right away? Like, it's just going to be insane.
I'm happy. I'm glad they decided to expand the playoffs and they did it, because I feel like in the 60-game season, you're going to have teams. First of all, 60 games is nothing in baseball. That is not even half. And we talked about this a lot on Twitter and on the podcast. How, you always have those teams that get better in the second half. And me as an Indians fan, my team has been like that since the Tito Francona era started, like 7 years ago. The Indians have notoriously been a team in the second half that just gets better. Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, I think the expanded playoffs allows for teams that get on slow starts or are kind of close, but not like 2 games out. It gives them a chance to kind of win. But honestly, it should only be for this year, because if we had 16 teams in the playoffs every year, let me put it this way. I'm going to put it this way. If we had a 8th seed in basketball, is only going to win maybe twice in a decade, or 3 times at most.
Less than that.
Like once in a decade, mostly. Yeah, you're right, Mario. In baseball, an 8th seed is going to win 4 or 5 times. 3 to 5 times.
Especially in a 3-game series.
Yeah, especially in a 3-game series. Honestly, if they're going to change any of the playoffs, they need to make the wild card a 3-game series where all 3 games are played at the number 1 wild card seed stadium for a 3-game series before they go to the ALDS, in my opinion.
Would you agree with that, Mark? That kind of change, because I like how the playoff format is now, but I can see that change kind of working.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely makes sense for this season, I'd say. I don't know about it carrying on, but making the wild card 3 games might add up to the intensity a little bit, make it a bit more fair too. Because I mean, the whole season coming down to 1 game. I mean, while it is exciting, it's like it can be a bit unfair for some teams.
Yeah, it's exciting for fans of the teams not in the game.
Right.
If you're a fan of
heart attack,
the team,
a few teams in there though.
Exactly. If your team is in the wild card game, it sucks for you. But if it's not, then it's great, because the postseason begins, with a bang. It just starts in with a sudden death scenario and that whole shit. So, I feel like we should kind of explain to folks what the postseason format is actually like. We've briefly gone over it. 16 teams instead of 10 make the postseason, but it's structured in kind of a funny way. Division winners obviously make it, and they're the number 1, 2, and 3 seeds as always. But then division runner-ups, they make it in as well, and they're the 4, 5, and 6 seeds. Then after that, in each league, you pick the 2 best remaining records. And depending on who has the better record, that's the 7th and the 8th seed. And then you start playing just like in the NBA playoffs. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5. So this is, and the rest of the playoff format is exactly the same. The NLDS will be the same, and yeah. We should also mention that in those best of three, those 8 best of 3 series in the first round, they will all be hosted by the higher seed. So one will always host 8 for all 3 games. That's kind of like what we've mentioned with the wild cards and the whole nine. And yeah, like it is something else, because putting all these teams in the playoffs, you're gonna have like the Padres, they're gonna be probably in there, the Diamondbacks, like you're gonna have a lot of teams. You can potentially have like 4 teams from the same division in the playoffs. And I gotta say this before I throw it to one of y'all. This gives you potentially an NLDS without a single division winner. I would be very, very, very upset if I was the Dodgers, for example. Like for me though, it's like
super Dodgers thing to happen.
Yeah, it would be, especially after what just happened.
Just heartbreak after heartbreak for them.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I know Mario will be somewhere just like celebrating if that happened.
Oh no. I just remember that. Can y'all, Pat? Can you please do that story, please?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mookie Betts, the best right fielder in baseball, the second best player in baseball, signed a 12-year extension with the Los Angeles Dodgers for $365 million. 365 million American dollars, that is, people. They gave him 2 Brinks trucks. And honestly, we can tell that this extension, they've been talking for a while because of COVID and everything right now. You can tell that Andrew Freeman wanted this to happen, and you got a superstar. And it's just unfair. That's just really unfair.
Fuck, man. Shit.
And the contract total is going to be 13 years, $380 million. So he's going to get he's paid. He's going to get paid. And honestly, Mookie deserves to play in a place like LA instead of Boston with their racist ass fans. So
for real,
it had to be said. I'm sorry, people. I'm not sorry. But yeah, no. I know Mario's probably weeping right now, but I'm just happy. I get to see Mookie Betts play with Cody Bellinger for like the next forever.
Go ahead, Mark. Like I don't have a whole lot to say. Go ahead.
I don't got a ton. He earned that though. You know what I mean? He's been easily top 3, top 4 best players for pretty much as long as he's been with the Red Sox. It's good he got the money. I wasn't sure how much it was going to be, just because of how COVID money's looking. But I mean, like you said, Pat, they must have been talking about it for a while before this even happened, I'm sure.
Yeah. So for my take on it, right? If y'all listen to the podcast, y'all will know I am a Colorado Rockies fan. The Colorado Rockies, they play in the National League West. The National League West is basically property of the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers are a team that they do this thing, right? Where pretty much they just keep pumping out elite prospects one after another. They keep developing prospects, and that just happen to turn into superstars, right? And because they were, they were lacking in superstar talent, they now have Mookie Betts for 12 years. I get to watch Mookie Betts 20 times a year lead off against my bum ass team. This is fucking bullshit. It's just bullshit, dog.
So exciting.
No fucking, like the rich get richer, dog. And this is the fucked up shit. I love Mookie. He's one of my favorite players to watch. But now fuck him, because he wears that fucking whack ass blue uniform. Fuck Mookie Betts. I don't give a shit. I'm happy he got paid. I'm I'm happy he got paid. I'm exaggerating, people. I'm happy he got paid, and he deserves it. He's a true 5-tool player. I was a little bit worried because we thought about how the market might just collapse with this whole Corona shit. I did read from some people that some people in the MLBPA are kind of upset because like Mike Trout kind of said like the bar, and like no one else could get paid more than Mike Trout. So
no one else should be getting paid more than Mike Trout.
I agree, but like
nobody. Like how much was the Mike Trout contract? $400 million, like flat, or like 425 or something like that? No.
I think it was 425.
It was 425, and the only maybe Lindor gets more than that just because he's a shortstop.
Hell no.
You don't think Lindor might get more than Mookie? You don't think Lindor will get more than Mookie on a 13-year deal?
In the neighborhood.
Okay,
maybe.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I may be biased, and it's not gonna happen with the Indians if that's the case.
You are.
I'll be biased. Okay. Give Lindor his money, man. Somebody. Anybody.
Yeah, somebody. Because it's not gonna be the Dolans.
The Dolans.
It's not the Dolans?
It is the Dolans. As you're talking about the Indians being called the Dolans now.
Yeah, the Cleveland Baseball Club, fam. So that's the Mookie Betts extension. That was some pretty hefty news, folks. And
it came out of nowhere, like the first game of this season, and everything.
Yeah, it just it was just a bomb, and I pretty much said everything I have to say on it, but like I gotta reiterate just how fucking bullshit it is. That the rich get richer, and yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mookie Betts playing in LA, which was once a hot spot for black baseball players, playing for the Dodgers on a 12-year, $260 million extension, is going to be huge. It's going to be real huge and bring more black baseball players to the game. Because think about all the black baseball players that came out of Southern California in the 70s and 80s. You had Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart. It's just countless guys that came out of that section of the United States, and I think Mookie is going to cause a renaissance of that, just because extension like this.
Yeah, we can definitely see that.
Yeah, Mookie Betts is the highest paid black athlete in history of athletics, like in the history of sports.
I think LeBron's been paid more than that, maybe on a single contract, but
on a single contract, I mean, yeah. No, I mean like a team contract, yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron has like $1 billion lifetime deal.
Yeah, it's endorsements and all that.
Yeah, LeBron's endorsement money is insane. He could probably buy Ohio.
I can buy Ohio.
Okay, relax.
Yeah, talk about dumb shit. Did any of y'all watch the ESPN and Fox broadcasts of these games that have been, been
I
putting
watched
out?
the ESPN broadcast, regrettingly.
Yeah, I watched.
Did you watch it, Mark?
Yes, a little bit of it, but you can only take so much of A-Rod.
Dog.
I don't know who wants to hear him talk. Really, it's just he's forced.
The bad thing about it is A-Rod. He'll say a great anecdote because he has a great baseball mind, but then he'll go on these stupid tangents and just pull some bullshit out of his ass that's just stupid, and it makes you so mad because if he got training and actually applied it, if he did get training, because it doesn't look like it, he will be a great baseball broadcaster.
Yeah, he'll be a great color commentator.
His baseball mind is just off the charts because he's a baseball nerd. Like there were stories how him and Jeter would fight over what they were gonna watch because A-Rod wanted to watch baseball games all day, and when Jeter's off the field, he doesn't give a fuck about baseball.
Yeah, he has very little range outside the field and in it.
Ooh.
That's a shot at Derek Jeter.
Oh my goodness, man! You need to leave that man alone.
I just like it's just funny, that cult like following that he has and how pissed
Derek Jeter's the Eli Manning of baseball.
Yeah.
Hell no, Eli Manning is not talked about anywhere near like Derek Jeter is. Hell no.
I'm being sarcastic. I was trying to fish you off because you're a Giants fan.
Well, you did.
You did. I'm glad. I mean, I was talking about kind of like how he's kind of in between overachieving and underachieving, but
yeah. Oh, okay, that's fair. But yeah, those ESPN and those Fox broadcasts. Yeah, I'm good. I'm kind of pissed. Those ESPN and those Fox broadcasts, they were ass, Brody. They were ass, and it just,
I didn't even watch the Joe Buck one.
Like,
I stay away from those as much as I can.
I hate Joe Buck. After the 2016 World Series, when he just dick rode the Cubs the whole series, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I'll give him this. He's better at baseball than he is at football, but that's not really much of a compliment because So these broadcasts were just fucking terrible, and I'm gonna tell you one thing that really pissed me off. During the Yankees Nats opening day game, right? I think it was like in the fourth or fifth inning. They basically cut off from the actual action to like interview like Rob Manfred or some shit while the game was going on. And then they returned and they're like, and then they were like, whoa, there's 2 runners on base. How the fuck did they get here? We don't know because we wasn't watching the fucking game. Idiots, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're just doing all this shit. It's just dumb. And I saw like Matt Chapman getting interviewed in the Dodgers Giants game. And listen, I love Matt Chapman and I'm happy he's getting exposure. But what the fuck does he have to do with a Dodgers Giants game, dude? What the fuck? What is wrong with these people, dog? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Baseball already has a big problem drawing interest from people. What the fuck are you doing? Not even paying attention to what's on the fucking screen. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? Like, I could do a better job broadcasting this shit. We could do a better job broadcasting this fucking shit if they just give me a microphone, man. Like, god damn. And I hate that Matt Vasgersian, how the fuck you pronounce his name. He used to be a good commentator. He pisses me off now.
It seems like whenever he does the games on MLB Network, he's way better than the games he does on ESPN.
Maybe there's someone in his ear just yelling him shit, but
the production team from ESPN.
Yeah, you can tell the production team for ESPN has been garbage because it's fucked up. Because Sunday Night Baseball used to be one of the best segments for baseball, but it seems like over the years, ESPN just stopped giving a fuck about baseball, which kind of makes sense considering everything.
Back in the day, they had it.
Yeah,
because I hear a lot of good things about. Yeah, go ahead. Because I heard a lot of good things about those ESPN broadcasts from back in the day. Right,
yeah,
Mark?
they were really good back in the day. But it's kind of watered down and shitty now.
Like a real energy.
Oh, and then the sound is awful too. The way they kind of blow everything up and make it louder.
I hate fake crowd noise.
No, like the sound that when they hit the bat. You remember last year and the year before how they kind of like pumped up the noise when the guys hit the ball and shit, and it used to sound like someone just lit off a firecracker in your house.
Yeah.
Or somebody would slap a weak opposite fly single or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? I know it's just not me.
No, yeah, I think I hear that too. I mean, not sure if now it's like that too, just because there's no other on-field noise, but it definitely sounds like it's getting like amplified to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
That fake crowd noise shit is just so fucking whack. I can see that there's no people in the crowd, dog. Don't try to fool me. I'm not an idiot. I can see there's no people in the crowd. Let me listen to, because that's one good thing about there being no people in the crowd. The crack of the bat sounds way better now.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado hit a pop fly, like just a regular pop up. That shit sounded like it was hit 550 feet. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I think hearing the players cuss and talk and shit is cool too. That's really my favorite part. Because baseball players cuss like sailors and shit.
Yeah, for sure. You saw them the Cubs and Brewers game. Their tempers are already flaring. They knew they couldn't actually cross the lines and fight each other.
Yeah, that's fucking. That is fucking funny. It's a good season to hit someone intentionally, though. That's for sure.
Nothing's gonna happen. Safe.
Yeah, it's shit gonna happen. But yeah, that's kind of the whole deal. We talked, about this, the overall season, how it's going. I'm getting one thing from how the season's going. I feel like the starters are getting even shorter leashes than they have been in previous years. Are you surprised by that, Mark? Because I kind of am a little bit, even though like not at the beginning of the season, but if we like see this like 4 weeks into 3-4 weeks into the season, then I'll be surprised. Are you surprised by that?
No, I kind of share the same thoughts with you. I mean, right away, it's definitely it's like outside of the pitcher's normal training regimen. So I can see their arms not exactly responding to the sudden high pitch count, middle of the season, whereas normally, they're going, pretty much full force since April. So I can see the slow build up. I'd like to see him start going deeper, but yeah, as you said, if it's like weeks in and this still happen where they're capping at like 85, 95 pitches in, that'll look a little funny to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that we've talked about teams that they're going to use their strengths basically, but it seems like every team is just using the shit out of the bullpen right now. Bud Black actually, this is just some dumb shit. Bud Black, I hate this motherfucker. He brought out. See, this is what you don't do. He brought out in the first game against the Rangers. He brought out Jairo Diaz and Carlos Estevez. He brought them out for relief. They pitched. I think they each pitched one pitched. They each pitched one clean inning. They threw like 20 pitches and shit. Then in game 2, he brought them out again. With no days of rest in this season where there's no ramp up, pitchers are still getting going and you could see them struggle. And he this motherfucker, he left Jairo Diaz in the game to face Joey Gallo with the bases loaded. Jairo Diaz is a righty. Joey Gallo has an OPS of like 12,000 against right-handed pitching. Yeah. He left this motherfucker in. Somehow, he didn't hit a fucking bomb. Yeah, that's me getting upset again. Is there any other like big talking points that y'all got so far? Like Pat, do you have like anything that's really kind of like jumped to you that you're seeing? Because it feels like regular baseball to me. Aside from the starters having shorter leashes, it feels like regular baseball.
The starters having shorter leashes is due to them not having like a long enough time to stretch their arms out.
Yeah, like
except for certain guys who just have rubber arms or guys who started training early. Because with you don't want your starters to fucking start dropping miles per hour or overexert themselves and injure themselves. But one thing I will say, the 3-batter minimum rule hasn't been that bad, as bad as I thought it would. It hasn't really seemed like it's affected that much to me.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know. Tito's been pretty good with matching up and stuff like that, and our bullpens are really competent. We haven't gotten burned yet. But overall, baseball looked like baseball, except for the little stuff where you see the starters kind of start slow, or you see guys on defense miss their cutoff man, or kind of make some errors that baseball players usually don't make.
Yeah, it's been a little bit sloppy defensively. I even saw the god Matt Chapman making an error the other day. So I'm sure it'll take up. Yeah, so it'll take a little bit for them to get acclimated again. But I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's just baseball. It's looking like.
And y'all got probably, I'd say y'all got the best infield defense in baseball with the Cardinals. I mean, if Matt Carpenter is not in there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely that's going to be the big move for us. It looks like Edman's going to take most of the starts at third. I I don't mind swapping him off in DH. So other guys too that we could work in. But I think Edmund already made an error too. But yeah, I mean, defense should be still one of the strong points. Especially Wong and DeYoung up the middle. Goldie at first too. Can't sleep on him.
One question. What's the lineup they've been using? Because I was rolling my eyes last year when I kept seeing Goldie hitting third. So
he's still at third. I'm not too mad at that. I'm glad that we finally took Dex out of the top of the lineup. He was just not a top of the lineup guy anymore, unfortunately. As much as I like him, they dropped him down. They got moved Colton Wong up, which is he an ideal leadoff guy? Maybe not necessarily, but I mean he's probably the best option we got right now.
Yeah, that whole lineup felt kind of patched together with whatever you could find.
A little empty to be nice about it.
Hey, yo, Mark.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you like Oscar Mercado back?
I miss him. Yeah, I mean, especially with our light outfield, there's definitely a place for him there.
Yeah, it's so kind of weird how it kind of
ex-Cardinal outfielders.
Yeah,
I wish we had back.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the Cardinals are they're so deep, but it seems like lately they kind of pick the wrong players to trade because usually they trade the right guys and keep the wrong guys.
Been some questionable moves.
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of feel like if you got to picking between him and Harrison Bader, they kind of seem like the same exact player to me at this point, unless but Mercado seems to me to be a little more consistent while on the hitting side, while Bader's a little bit better defensively and has a better arm.
Yeah, I mean you got all of his speed and his defense, but I mean at the plate he's struggling to say the least.
Yeah, but I think Mario, back to what you were saying, I think the Indians might have the best infield defense in baseball this year.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Okay. J-Ram versus whoever the Cardinals have playing at third. Who are you taking?
Obviously, Ramirez.
Okay. Yeah. Lindor, we all know what Lindor can do. You guys saw what he did yesterday from left field. He made it.
That was a crazy fucking
play. He made it throw.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
I think Hernandez is a Colton Wong. Obviously, he's the best defensive. He's probably the best defensive. Oh my goodness, that was an awful error. Wow. These dude looks sloppy. Alberto Monti just made a terrible error. So yeah, I know it was kind of a hard grounder too, but Colton Wong is probably the best defensive second baseman in baseball. I'm surprised we didn't make him our Gold Glove pick. If we're being honest, Mario, when we did our predictions, we forgot about him totally.
No, I didn't forget about him. I just said Ozzy because I
took Ozzy. I mean, yeah, I would say him and Ozzy are like 1A, 1B.
That's true. I think Colton Wong's a little bit more flashy.
Yeah, I took Ozzy mainly because Ozzy's a better hitter, and weirdly enough, being a good hitter helps you win with winning Gold Gloves. So, yeah,
that's fair. Santana versus Goldie. I say they're even then, but I'm biased.
Nah, Goldie's better defensively.
Yeah, Goldie's better. Yeah. But the overall infield is even to me.
Okay, that's fair. That is kind of if you don't mind, Mark, because you didn't do like season predictions with us and everything, would you mind giving us like kind of like like postseason picks, like maybe even some award picks, something like that, because you didn't do it with us. So would you mind doing that?
Yeah, I mean, a little on the spot, but I'll run through just taking a look at the standings right now. Not that they mean anything.
I just put you on the spot.
Yeah. So I'll go first and second for each division. Then I'll pick my wild cards.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough to pick because I feel like it's gonna come down to who's healthy as much as who's talented. Whereas like who's gonna avoid missing time from COVID cases or whatever it may be. But I'm gonna go AL East. I'll take Yankees and then Rays. Central, I'll go Twins, Indians, and then West, I'm taking A's, Astros. Then for my wildcard picks, I'm gonna go White Sox and White Sox, Angels. I'm gonna say. Let's move over. Pretty big on White Sox. I really hope they have a big year.
That lineup looks filthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very intimidating pitch. I'm not looking forward to when we got to face them. So I'm gonna head over to NL East now. First place, definitely going with Braves. I wanted to go with Mets, but can't. Relying on the Mets is not ever a smart thing to do.
Lol, Mets.
You're foolish if you're just gonna, be confident in them. So I'll take the Nationals, defending champions. I think they took a step down, but they should be able to put together not a bad season. I don't think.
I agree.
Yeah, I know Central's tough. I don't know if I should let my bias play. First, I'm gonna say Reds are gonna take the division, and then I'll take Cardinals second. And then It's a tough call. I mean, I could go anyway between the four. In the West, I would have to go obviously Dodgers, and then I like the Diamondbacks, but I'm gonna have to stick with the Padres for second place.
Okay, that's fair.
And wild card's gonna be a little tough. I'm gonna take probably Diamondbacks and then Cardinals. Or no, I said Cardinals second, so Cubs actually. Cubs could easily win that division, though. It just depends on how they decide to play. Just can't.
I know Central could. My bad, Mark. The NL Central could go so many different ways.
Yeah, any of the top four teams could finish anywhere.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling too safe on that. Let's see. Rookies of the year. Going against Luis Rivera would be a little silly, but I'll take slightly different pick. I'll go with Kyle Lewis to the Mariners. Already off to a hot start. Sure you saw that taking Verlander deep. So I'm liking him. Yeah, I'm liking him so far. And the National League, I'm gonna again with the bias. I'm gonna take Dylan Carlson. Hopefully he could get enough games in at least to make enough of an impact to become a contender for Rookie of the Year. But I think if we get him up, he's gonna continue to hit and play serviceable defense. I'll go with him.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll do Cy Youngs too. It's gonna be a little tough.
I just put you in the spot big time. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No deep analysis or anything here. Just off the cuff picks. Let's see.
Yeah, that's my bad. I didn't tell you about it.
No, it's all good. All good. I don't think even any amount of preparation is really gonna make a difference in this either, just because how random it's gonna be. I'm gonna go with Shane Bieber, the Indians. Hopefully,
Pat likes that pick.
Yeah,
I do.
I think he'll be able to put together a nice year, and then I'll have to go with the safe pick and go with DeGrom and the Mets. I mean, I don't think anyone else is on his level at all.
That's a fair pick. I think we both picked him. Me and Pat.
Yeah,
I think we both picked DeGrom.
Yeah, if you're going against him, you're trying to be contrarian at that point. I mean, I don't know who else even has a reasonable chance to match up with him.
But actually, I picked. I actually picked Walker Buehler. I think. Yeah.
Buehler?
Yeah, I picked Walker Buehler. Yeah.
You did pick Buehler. I picked DeGrom.
Yeah, I like Buehler a lot.
Yeah, he's got the rubber arm too. So.
Let's see. And I'll just jump straight to World Series teams. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say the A's for the American League, and
that's a good pick.
And Dodgers. Yeah, pretty big on the A's this year. I mean, I'm sure if you're paying attention, not underrated, but I would say nationally, probably one of the more underrated teams. Especially if the pitching can come together. That's probably the question mark at this point, but I think they have arms where they can potentially do it.
I think with the A's, I think that to me, they have they're one of those teams with that syndrome that's just they're missing one more bat to me to make that lineup truly fearsome. But and And the pitching staff, I agree with you. And me and Pat, we talked about this. If the pitching staff comes through, I don't care if they don't get another bat. If the pitching staff comes through, that's a scary fucking team.
Yeah.
Especially
you're not going to want to see them like 3 games.
Yeah, in a season like this, and with that bullpen, them and the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
fearsome teams.
They're pretty scary. So yeah, this is a season. This is I love this word because it's kind of a wrestling word, and I love it. It's just Bizarro Land. Bizarro Land baseball, really. Everything's gonna be super tight. We haven't even talked about the tiebreaker method, which is hilarious. Pat, we talked about the potential of there being a whole lot of tiebreaker games. There won't be any. And I'm sure you read about this, and y'all saw this. There won't be any tiebreakers. All that will be done just mathematically, and just boom. The tiebreaker method is, first of all, the head-to-head record, and if it's not available, then intra-division record, then the record in the final 20 games inside the division. So it's just a whole bunch of shit that they're going to make sure that there are no extra games played, because everything's being played on a very tight schedule. They want to get the World Series done before November hits. I think that's fair. Pat, do you think that we're gonna finish the season, first of all? Because we've had a couple of corona cases. Some players have missed games. So yeah,
I think they will. They kind of, the owners, they have too much money on the line at this point since they started it. Now, baseball is kind of a socially distant sport anyways, so it's kind of different from basketball and football, where you have guys that are more kind of in a more confined space. And plus, baseball seems to have the best method of having the testing labs, their own testing labs, and how they've also been able to acquire multiple different types of tests from multiple different companies and things like that also.
Yeah, they're going to get to their money.
Yeah, they're going to get the owners are going to want their money. And I think we forgot the fact that with the expanded playoffs, they're giving a bonus to the players, to the team's players who make to the playoffs also. I think it's like $50 million they get put on the table.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I guess it kind of makes up for the 20 games that the players wanted in the original deal. That seems like it's about the amount. Well, no, but yeah, but playoff bonuses, I guess. Because in the playoffs, there's a bonus. So I guess there's a bonus on top of the bonus since they're going to be playing in cold weather.
Yeah, I think we pretty much went over everything, really. Y'all got like any other topics that y'all want to go over? I think we covered everything.
Yeah, seems like we just about got everything.
Yeah,
you got anything, Pat?
Jose Ramirez just hit 3 on a home run, and that's your MVP pick.
Yeah, David Dahl just struck out.
There we go.
He looked pretty good the other day, 3 for 4.
Now he's playing well. And he's actually taking some pitches. David Dahl is just the king of getting himself out. It's infuriating to watch. He's just amazing at getting himself out, and it's like so tantalizing with him because like you see the amazing bat speed, you see the barrel control, the ability to put the bat on the ball anywhere in the strike zone and beyond. But then you just watch him swing in at a curveball and at a fucking curveball in the dirt in a 2-1 count. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he's the king of just getting himself out. Anyway, so yeah, if y'all don't got anything else, see, I went on a tangent right there. If y'all don't got anything else, then we can sign off. This will be a shorter podcast, which will be a blessing for me because it will take a bit less to edit, especially with 3 people. But yeah, I'm gonna get this shit tied up, and I'm gonna just put some fucking quality work as always because that's what the fuck I do. So if y'all don't got anything else, then we can sign off.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Right, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a real fun time, man.
Thank you for appearing.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for that.
Likewise.
Really, like talking baseball is a whole lot of fun. So that was the Pinch Talk podcast with Mark. Hope y'all like what y'all heard from him. He's, by the way, I gotta tell you this. You got a good like voice and like a good tone for like talking about this shit. Like you're really calm in that whole shit. That works.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. You pace yourself well. I'm like no expert or nothing, but I just wanted to say that. But yeah, it's funny though, because like hearing like a non-native English speaker like myself giving an actual native, English speaker some like, yeah, like you're doing well speaking. Like that's funny. So yeah, that was the Pinch Talk podcast. That was episode 12. The season is underway, people. Get excited about that shit because there's baseball going. Follow the podcast on all the social media platforms. Remember to pay attention to the Twitter threads that we do, the Baseball Terms 101. If you're a newer fan, they will really, really help you. And I should actually be doing that one right after this. But actually a bit later. And remember that the podcast is available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Pods, YouTube, Breaker, everything you want. And yeah, that was the Pinch Talk podcast with Mario and Pat and Mark as a guest appearance for this episode. And yeah, that was all from us. Peace, people.
Peace,
man.